What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about how to live life not being around like-minded people, right? So I guess I'm not sure how other people are or from a collective scale, but at least for me and people who tend to be very into like spirituality or people who just they can see through the bullshit of everything, it's kind of hard for us to kind of relate to most people because. And don't get me wrong, again, like I said, I don't know how other people, like the whole collective feels. I'm sure everyone can relate to this in some way. This is why we all got put on a mask or we got to act a certain way. And some people do this without them even realizing it, right? Because especially like with these jobs, we're forced to work in, we're forced to put on a fake smile, a fake face. Not because we're being fake, but it's how the programming is, right? And it's normalized and it's part of societal programming. But, but, it, so throughout my life, I've been around a very like disrespectful people who aren't emotionally like nurturing as me, I guess. People who aren't like people who they're just very like cold-hearted and very like stuck up and bitchy, you know what I'm saying? So I've dealt with a lot of people like that. And how do you get through it? I feel like life purposely put me around these types of people because based on what I've learned, research and studies that unfortunately, I don't agree with this, but I really do believe that, or based on my studies, I came to the conclusion that as spirits, as human beings, we're kind of forced to be here just so we could experience a lot of things, whether it be good or bad. So if if we're experiencing horrible shit and people who are just doing us wrong, or we're experiencing a lot of unfortunate situations, it's not necessarily because we've done something bad, but more so our spirit wants us to experience horrible things so we can learn how to grieve and learn how to like know what pain feels like and how to overcome it, because this reality has nothing to offer. So this is why life tends to throw some type of obstacle or some type of inconvenience within our lives back to back, just so we could be busy and have something to look forward to. Because imagine life without trauma, without pain. Not saying it's necessary, but it's how the rules is. But if there was life without no pain or trauma, or then life would be kind of, I want to say meaningless, but more so people will kind of see through the bullshit of this realm and this reality. So this is why God or Spirit, the universe, would like to throw obstacles in our way just so we could remain busy and intact with this realm. This is why you got to work so hard just to manifest basic, cheap things. Where like, which even though it's rightfully ours, we have to do so much just to get those things. For example, you have to work at these jobs you don't want to be in order for you to make money. It takes a long time, it takes lifelong just to make $1 million or to be financially free. Barely anyone's financially free in this realm. And even they either done some evil shit or they have connections that deals with a lot of evil shit. Or you can get lucky. There are people who are making millions of dollars, but if they were to do that, they're probably meant to learn some type of bullshit ass experience, or they really earned it. But even they did earn it, it took them like a lifetime. And once they reach that, it's probably too late to even experience that because their body is already old. Or just, I don't know, I'm just talking shit. But, so this realm likes to keep us occupied, in my opinion. So this is why when I approach life, I view life as a business. I don't take life personally, even though it still affects me. Obviously, it still affects me when life throws bullshit at me. When people are just so shitty and people aren't at my level, like when it comes to emotional intelligence, people aren't just nice. People are just stuck up, cold-hearted, and they're just weird. They're so robotic and they're just fucking dumb. So even though that still bothers me, especially if you've done nothing to deserve it. But like I said before, life just likes to do that shit. But like I said before, this is why I don't take life personal, because at the end of the day, life is short. The average human being dies before they're 100. We live in a type of reality where paper controls what we do. And this reality is very limited and restricted. So we're not really free. We think we're free, but we're not. You see all the time. You got third world countries. You got certain countries that people aren't allowed to express their freedom. People aren't able to express they're not able to express themselves in different countries, and they get shunned or banned for it. Even sometimes in America, we're like, if you make certain YouTube videos or certain channels, some people get fired from their jobs. I know females who get fired from their job just by having OnlyFans, or even teachers, and even on YouTube, you see people get shadow banned by the type of content they create, or they have hate speech and shit like that. So we don't have true freedom in this reality. But But yeah, so we live in a type of world where we're being restricted by money. We can't really do anything. So mix that up with spiritual warfare. So you got demonic entities manipulating and influencing a lot of people's minds and bodies every single day. This world is very depressing. Like we got MK Ultra, we got HARP that controls the weather. This is why like every weekends, like ironically, it's always raining or it's always cloudy on the weekends. I noticed this. Like whenever it's the weekdays, the weather's nice and clear outside, it's nice and warm. But every time it's the weekend, that's when it's snowing, that's when it's rainy, that's when everything is cloudy and like what the fuck, and it makes shit more depressing on the weekends because the Masons like to control the Earth's weather and shit like that. Is stupid. So we live in a type of reality where everything is restricting and corrupted, and everything is pretty much meaningless. The only time, in my opinion, for doing something that's meaningful is if you're trying to expose this world, or you're trying to learn a new skill that's gonna help benefit everyone, or you're working on your health, like fasting, yoga, or eating fruits and vegetables every fucking day, and breath work and all this other stupid ass shit. That's my opinion. That's means you're actually doing something. But I understand we all have a purpose. We're all meant for great things. But regardless, we can all agree that life is temporary and life is short. So like it is what it is. So this is why I don't take life personally. I take life seriously because I want to manifest and attract great things into my life so I could tolerate and deal with this realm the best way I can. But when it comes to me taking it personal, I don't take shit personal. I can see right through the bullshit of this realm. Everything is controlled. We don't have free will. Everything's stupid, and everything is depressing and just so fucking lame. And on top of that, it's so easy to create a lot of karma, and this it's a mess. There's a lot of manipulation in this reality, and we're forced to do things we don't want to do most of the time. So as human beings, we're so used to doing things we don't want to do, not in a bad way. I'm not talking about being lazy or being procrastinating so nasty all day. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about we're forced to do things we don't want to do just so we can survive. That's not life right there. But anyways, but yeah, but how to live life not being around like-minded people. Again, I feel like everyone experiences this. So how you got to go about it is to, one, you got to have a close relationship with yourself. You got to be your own best friend. Acknowledge the fact that it is annoying and it is frustrating, and there are times where like I'm around family members who aren't emotionally intelligent. I have to cut off a lot of family members. They're very disrespectful. They're very narcissistic. They're very cold-hearted, and they'll lay hands on me. They'll be verbally abusive, and they want to take accountability. And still to this day, they can't see the errors in their ways. So now I'm forced to just get away from them, to move completely away, far from them, to cut all contacts with them. And so that in itself, like that's very hard. It's challenging. The average person, like, it's very hard. It's very painful to realize that your family members are mentally retarded, and so now you got to cut them off because they're detrimental to your health and well-being. I've also experienced people where I've also cut off like quote unquote friends and people who I thought had their best interests at me. I had people who steal money from me, people who are like act two-faced around me. So just manipulative people like that. So I had to cut these people off. And and when it comes to like dating romantic partners, like they're always like emotionally unavailable, or like they're just so like cold-hearted, so like it always ended up in bad terms where I had to cut them off and shit like that. And just so like I've been around the ringer and I'm familiar with not being around like-minded people, and it does get annoying. It gets frustrating. And here's the thing too: when people like when they feel different around a lot of people, or they just feel outcasted, people like to blame themselves. First off, it's not your fault, and it's not you, it's them. You're not the crazy one. These people are the crazy one. It's just God or the universe or your higher self. They purposely put you around stupid ass people that have no business being around your life or that aren't at your level. Then that's the reason why you think you're going crazy. You're not going crazy. It's just your free will is being controlled. This is why you're forced to be around a lot of dumbass people within your family or your surroundings or wherever you go to. You're always around non-like-minded people. So it's not even your fault. It's just very discouraging because this reality is very harsh. It's very like it's very painful. And this is why I feel like the universe or God will always find a way to orchestrate situations where everyone's going through some type of suffering. Because, like I said, this reality has nothing to offer but suffering. And there's even and so it's going to keep you busy. This is why when people commented on one of my videos that they've heard a theory that like Earth is like a school for souls to grow and evolve spiritually. So this is why when you come down here, everyone seems to suffer a lot. It could be in different things because their souls came down here just so they can evolve and grow. And apparently, you can't grow and evolve as a soul unless you go through some type of pain or suffering. So Earth is like a little hot spot for souls to reincarnate, so they can evolve and grow. Not knowing that once you're actually in it, it's pretty fucking lame. But that's my opinion. But so yeah, so don't take that personally, and just know that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to cry, because it is painful. Because as human beings, since we have a nervous system, since we have we feel emotions, we feel pain, even emotional pain. Yes, it's gonna be painful not being around like-minded people, because as human beings, we're wired to be emotional and social creatures. You see animals, you see how they operate in groups. As human beings, we're no different. We're kind of like animals in a way, but we're more like structured. So like we need groups, we need to be and stuff like that. So if you're not around like-minded people, yeah, you're gonna have emotional wounds. You're gonna have a rejection wound. You're gonna have an abandonment wound, especially from family members at a young age. So that's gonna traumatize you. So you always gotta grieve and cry it out, release anger, and yes, you're not alone. Just know that it's not fair and it's not right. And just know that you will get through this. And just know that if you're not around like-minded people, it means you're meant for greater things. So, because imagine life or God restricting you in a way where you can't meet like-minded people, or like you're always dealing with some type of like obstacle when it comes to people. That clearly tells you that you're meant for great things, and you're not like the rest of the people. That means you're meant for great things. And the greater, like a lot of people are meant for great things, they tend to have a lot of blockages and restrictions within their life, because you're strong enough to overcome it, even though it's not fair. And just know that you're not alone. But it means that just shows how great your life mission is, pretty much, unlike these other weak ass spirits. But just know that you're not alone. I also believe in spiritual warfare too. So I feel like I honestly, when people say it's spiritual warfare, devil attacking you, I agree with what they mean, because I've experienced people who are narcissistic, but also see them shapeshift their eyes, their facial features, how they act. And I personally believe it is spiritual warfare and some paranormal activity when it comes to narcissists, because narcissists are in fact possessed by demonic entities. This is why they lack empathy. They all operate from the same handbook. They all do the things they do. So I do believe in spiritual warfare, but I look at it from a greater scale, because people like to say spiritual warfare. How I look at it is, one, it is spiritual warfare, but just the fact that all this is even allowed. Like, why is the universe, why is God, why is this reality even allowing all this to happen, to even orchestrate a situation to where these demonic beings can even inhabit into people's minds so they can attack you in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So I do blame the devil and demonic entities, but I also blame these reality. So this is why, like I said, I don't take it personal. These guys see through the bullshit. But I do believe that if we are experiencing hardships and bad things, then we're meant to overcome it. It's meant to better us in the long run. Even someone told me that, like, when you're going through hardships or abusive situations that's out of your control, that you didn't even do anything to deserve it, that's going to eventually become a blessing, because you can use it in a way where you can help other people and you can help others yourself, make you become more intelligent and more self-aware and more emotional, abundant and stuff like that. So just don't take it personal. Just know that if you're not around like-minded people, you're not alone. You're not going crazy. Yes, these people do seem fucking weird, and it is annoying. But just my advice is to cry it out, grieve, connect with like-minded people through the internet if you can, and start your own YouTube channel, trying to find an outlet to express your emotions and your thoughts. That's why I do. I make a YouTube channel. It's called Speak Your Mind. I'm just expressing my thoughts and my angers and my trials and errors and stuff like that. So try to find an outlet so you can release all these pent-up emotions. There's solutions. You can work out, you go to the boxing ring and take boxing lessons. You can learn how to just start working out, lift weights, go to the shooting range. You could do yoga. There's facts that yoga heals the body. You could do a lot of breath work, meditations. You start fasting, you start eating healthier, exercise, do what you got to do. Grab a baseball bat and start hitting things in the middle of nowhere. I don't know, just stuff like that. Or like just grab a baseball bat, drive to like a local desert or mountain and start swinging at rocks or something like that to release anger. But that's how I look at it. I will go more into detail, but I'm tired, man. And it's man, like, it's weird though, because this week, like, it was clear skies, everything was clear. But in this weekend, it was like, then on the skies, everything's all cloudy and rainy. It's just so depressing, man. There's no sunlight. Here, I'm gonna show you guys what outside looks like. It's just depressing, man. Hang on. Look how gray everything is, dude. You see how, like, depressing this shit looks? Like, look how depressing that looks, man. Like, fucking hate that. You know, so that's HARP. That's the Masons controlling the weather. They do this shit every weekend. The weather's always like this. It's so depressing, man. Damn. No wonder I got chemtrails and see. That's what I mean. It was reality. Everything is restricted. Everything is corrupt. Everything is controlled. So like, this realm is a piece of shit. So don't take anything that happens to you personally. Obviously, like I said, it's still gonna affect you. So don't hold all your emotions in, because then it's gonna make you become narcissistic and cold-hearted, and you don't want that. You don't want to become like the same types of people that were forced to be put into your life that are jackasses or assholes. 90% of this world are filled with a lot of jackasses and assholes and narcissistic people. Like I said, because people are responsible for this world being corrupt. So it makes sense that most people are jackasses, assholes, and weak-minded. It makes sense that it's going to manifest to a shitty-ass world. So just the fact that you're doing a lot of healing work, you're grieving properly, you're releasing your emotions, you even have the awareness to release your emotions, you're part of that 10% that's very rare. And even though it's sad that it shouldn't be a slow percentage of people who are actually emotional intelligent, it is how it is. I don't like the word saying emotional intelligence. I like saying common sense emotionally. A lot of people these days don't have common sense due to the foods, due to the chemtrails, social media programming, due to spiritual warfare, due to this corrupt world and stuff like that. So there's many factors that play into this, and they don't have the knowledge. Even though we have access to the internet, people still don't fucking change. Because like I said, we're tied into a human body, to a nervous system, so it's easier said than done. But man, why, man? I kind of want to end this video, but I don't. I want to end this video because time is speeding up so fast, man. So you ain't got time to do shit. So, but that's why, like, why is time speeding up so fast, right? But at the same time, if time is going to speed up, how come this society is not collapsing? If time is going to speed up at that rate, collapse the fucking world. But this reality, God of the universe, they're not going to allow that shit. You know, it's just stupid, bro. But so God wants to put us to be around a shitty ass corrupt world, but yet God expects us to heal and overcome and fix that shit. Motherfucker, we don't have, no human being has access to their past lives. If we had access to their past lives, we'll know how to overcome and navigate and recreate all this shit. But we don't. You know what I'm saying? So technically that's God's fault. So people like to, you know what I'm saying? No, like it's not. It's God's fault, and that's how I approach things. Like if I see this world going to shit, and if I see like people, especially family members, loved ones, going through hell and suffering, especially and they're trying to harm me in a way, I'm like, you know what, man? That's not even my fault. That's God's fault. I'm not gonna fix all that shit. The fuck I look like. It's not even that. It's more so the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna do all that shit. If this world is going to shit and a lot of people are gonna suffer for the next thousands of years, that's not my burden. That's God's burden. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with shitty people. If I'm around shitty people, if I cut them off, that's not my burden. That's first of all, that's their burden, and that's God's burden. It's God's fault for putting around shitty ass people, and I'm forced to cut them off. You know, and I'm forced to navigate through this world by myself. You know, that's not my fault. That's God's fault. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Some people don't, but and people like to kiss God's ass all the time. They're like, oh, pray this, motherfucker, fuck you, in sins. God don't give a fuck about you. But I don't know. But yeah, that's how I look at it. And it started raining now. Shit. But that's all I gotta say. Have a good one. Peace.